your throat. The goal here is to just try to get through every zone dungeon solo, but we're doing them on normal first, and we can see how our build reacts to things throughout, doing each one individually. And hopefully we can figure out exactly what we need to either make our build stronger. Like if we could make our power towards our deadly cloak and our hurricane, if we can make those two skills damage go up, then I mean technically we wouldn't need stuff like our execute. I mean we'll always keep an execute. We'll try to. I have played without one and I've done very well. But if we could somehow get rid of whirlwind plus our crystal weapon, this is kind of our flex spot right here. Crystal weapon. Um, I know one thing that we could do to up our damage passively is we could go to Fighters Guild. I mean, my arena setup is basically this. Hold up. So we'd put something like, I mean, we could use Barb Trap. I just haven't been because one of the sets I wear it's already giving me critical damage. It's already giving me minor force. So basically I'd only be using the trap for damage, and I can't use the trap in like boss fights. A boss won't trigger the trap. So it really doesn't help me in, in a lot of situations. What would help me is I have a good idea. It's basically what I use in arenas, but I'm thinking I could probably just use it in all content. Because of the way my build works, I kind of need it because no matter what, we'll always have ranged NPCs that we have to get to. And anyways, since we kill things, basically the way my build works, it's a Sork, and a lot of Sork builds, most Sork builds, I feel like run this way with Hurricane and Crit Surge. Those are your two most important skills right there. But basically, anything that gets close to you is going to be taking damage. Anything that comes within 2 or 4 meters is going to be getting killed. And you don't have to use weapons. This is all active on yourself. So just by them coming in your proximity, even if you're not flailing at them if you're just standing still, you can even fucking, sheath your weapons and just stand there. Things are going to be taking damage. So that's our main, but at the same time, as we're putting the damage out, we're also healing ourselves. So the more enemies that come into our proximity, so the more enemies we're damaging every second, the more we're gonna heal. And I've tried to apply this into PvP. So for any player that comes near me, they're gonna be getting damaged a lot, and I'm gonna be healing off that damage. The Sork is a great class to kind of try to, if you could build a siphoning, he's kind of like a siphoning build, like a health siphoning. That's what it feels like. So you want to try to put as much as you can into Hurricane and Crit Surge. That's what I want to do. To the point where I could just, walk up to an enemy player and let them melt, and at the same time, for however fast I melt that player, I'm going to heal just as quick. So even if they come in with a really powerful rotation, it won't matter if they get close. They'd have to kill me from far away. That is my weakness, range. Any ranged attacks. But an easy way to fix that is there's two ways. I can either pull enemies to me, or I can have a gap closer and quickly get to a ranged enemy. Now, I would say go with something like a gap closer. There's a two-handed one, which is fantastic. But see, I love Brawler. It's also a great skill. You get a nice damage shield. But I don't know if I really need the damage shield at this point. Veteran content will definitely be different. We'll have to test some more things there. But I think right now, upping our damage is the most important thing. And Fighters Guild is probably one of the greatest ways to do that. Increases your weapon and spell damage by 3% for each fighter's skill ability is slotted. So if we go over here now, right, we have 6% so far. We can get the full 15, which this is the crossbow I was talking about, or the skill I was talking about, sorry. We will pull enemies to us. We'll pull them right into our proximity, right next to us, and they'll melt away. So that's fantastic to have. Is it better than having crystal weapon though? Because if we go up here, hold on one second. If we go up here to crystal weapon, the reason we have this right here is not for the healing, it's not for the extra burst damage, not even to reduce the target's armor by 1,000, but passives. So right here, this one doesn't require us to have a skill. When you hit an enemy with a directly applied dark magic ability, you heal for 3,000 health. Now let's look at crystal weapon again. I believe this even heals us, but if it doesn't, we get healed by using this. So we have to, using the skill, you have to do 2 consecutive lead attacks, which it's going to be working with something else that I will be, I'm thinking about adding to the build, a monster set, but I'm actually starting to think I may not. I don't think we really need the extra healing from this passive. And I think, is that the only thing? That's when you cast a dark magic ability, you grant minor prophecy to you and your group. I don't think I really need it. I don't need spell crit. So yeah, we don't really need the extra heal. That's all this passive is going to do, is give us more healing. But we have to cast a skill to do it. So our other option is to go to Fighter's Guild. Where's Fighter's Guild? We could put Silver Leash in replace of that. Now we could get rid of our Execute as well and put something like Circle of Protection, which is going to give us even more recovery, but unless we're getting minor endurance somewhere else. But reducing your damage taken, okay, wait, yeah, by 5% and increasing our stamina recovery by 15%. Now those may run. There's a reason we have Binding Flare and Barrier here. I like the damage shield we get from Barrier. That's our expensive ultimate. But it's mostly for passive. We're getting a lot of recovery from having the Flare and Barrier. Flare we never cast. It's all about passive there. We're getting like 10 or 15%, maybe even 20% more. I think it's 10% per skill. So for each, we're getting a total of 20% more Magicka recovery for having them on our bar. With that being said, we may not even need Consuming Trap anymore. We could go another route. We could use Dark Exchange, right? This would be our stamina recovery right here, which I've gone this route before. Now if we put that here, right, we no longer, we'll still have, well, I don't know, we technically don't need it. I'm just thinking, really. But okay, now I've already thought all this through once, but so the only one that we really don't need is Crystal Weapon or even Dark Deal. But because we have that 20% more Magicka recovery, as we cast the Magicka to regain our stamina, that Magicka recovery is going to be, you know, helping us be able to cast this more often. So if we really want to heal, we might as well use something that's also going to give us stamina back. So we're killing 2 birds basically with 1 stone. So that's how we chose to replace our crystal weapon. Now, the reason we don't get rid of bound armaments, I think that's how you say that, is because, well, basically just it's a skill passive. We get an extra 8% max stamina from having this skill, but which max resource always comes in handy. Increases your health while you have a Daedric summoning ability slotted. So we also get more stamina recovery and health recovery. 20% more. And we get an 8% more max health. Wait, active. So while, as long as this skill here is active, we get 8% more health. So we have to keep it up. But so far, now, if we go into two-handed, we can keep our car, but we could use Stampede. I wouldn't use Critical Rush, I would use Stampede, because if we're going to be, well, if it's going to be only for ranged targets, then it's not really, we're not going to be using it to be, you know, jump on a mob, but just to get closer to ranged enemies. So we're going to want to put out more damage against that specific enemy, so I feel like Critical Rush might actually come in more handy. I've heard Stampede is actually better no matter what, but I think Critical Rush, no matter what, is better for single target. In PvE content, I feel like you're going to find more use for Stampede, but I don't know. I feel like they both can be just as good as... It all depends. I like that this is cheaper to cast. 3,300, 2,500. It's a pretty big difference. And it's always a critical strike, so we're going to heal just for using it. We're going to heal every single time we cast that. So technically, there's another reason to get rid of Dark Deal. We could replace it with something else. Now, what else do we have? We've looked at all the passives from here. So now what we need to do is try to get our damage up even more. Fighter's Guild being the best way to do that, we technically could put Circle of Protection on our bar and get rid of this. We'll lose that 8%. Well, no, we don't want to do that because we're gonna hurt our recovery. I think this is the best we can get our build right here. We don't technically need both gap closers, but now we have the option to pull enemies to us and to jump on them and heal. So I'll probably end up putting whatchamacallit back, but Brawler. Alright, let's finish up our dungeon. I think I'm a little bit sick, by the way. I think I might have a cold, but too sure. Definitely get some it's gonna take some getting used to. That's what I'm trying to say. Now we can get our stamina back up really quick. But technically our damage is higher now than it was before. I believe like 200 or 300 weapon damage. But maybe like 100 even. So this build is amazing at killing ads. It's almost impossible. I mean mobs. It's almost impossible to die on a mob, but it's single targets like bosses where he struggles a bit. So we need to put more into being able to fight single targets. Adding Dark Deal into our rotation will be fantastic. It'll be faster using Dark Deal than it would be casting what's it called, on all of the enemies. Oh, not bad. Oh, still got one. so let's use our gap closer. And then, what? Our deadly cloak on. Now we can go ahead and keep moving. Now if we don't want to use the crossbow and we want to put more damage out, we could put the trap in replace of it. Let's use our big shield. I do miss the damage that, the extra damage that, whatchamacallit puts out. Crystal weapon. We're just gonna keep light attacking, basically. If you guys want to see what we look, how we look fully buffed in this dungeon, we'll just do a few more attacks really quick. We want to try to do it while we still have Dawnbreaker active. We're at 48k weapon damage. And then there's another monster set that'll get me up to about 5300. Which I'd prefer to use over Stormfist. Stormfist is easier to use, but we will be putting out a lot more damage with the other set. And it will hurt our sustain a little bit, but I still think it's worth it overall. And it goes with the whole light attacking. Yeah, it just goes with our light attacking style. I'm not even worried about AoEs, I'm not worried about anything. It's pretty hard for me to die. I have a lot of shields, so... Well, I have one big shield, primarily, but then we have the shield from barrier as well. It's more of a passive heal. It's from this set. Here, I'll show you guys. It's a newer set that I've fallen in love with. Hexus Ward, which we still have to fix a lot of our traits, too. We got infused with weapon damage enchantment on our two-hander. So it's good to try to weave in a light attack with our two-hander. We're using Stormfist. The set we're going to be replacing it with is Moblog Kenna. I have 2 gold medium pieces on another tune that I have to grab. But you can see our weapon damage is just wearing that. It's going to go up, I think, a little over 100. And then with 2 pieces, whenever we light attack, we're going to go up 541 weapon damage. And then it's going to make our skills cost 8% more. But it's fun. The reason we want all medium is because medium armor doesn't really have any negative effects. And it also gives us crit damage. And even though there's a cap on crit damage nowadays, I still like to go crit damage. Though I also really like to have a lot of crit chance. Having crit chance, I think, could even be better than crit damage. You really got to even everything out, but like, focus on both as much as you possibly can. And then weapon damage, and then I like to focus on penetration lastly. Which I rock a mace on the back bar, or a maul, to get the penetration, and yep. Am I getting lost? I'm not paying attention. Okay, I think it's this way. Whoa. It's like my sensitivity was acting up. I couldn't turn. There. We'll do a Fang Lair next. I also want to get done. I want to get my pledges done. I'll do those solo as well, whatever they may be. We're not going to be doing like the second dungeons for most, like Banished Cells 2, Fungal Grotto 2, just because most of those actually require you to have a second person. They have a mechanic where you're required to have someone else to help you. You get stuck locked and can't move, no matter what, you'll die. There's only a very few dungeons that can't be completed by yourself. Most you can complete nowadays, so. I'll be working on a DK build next. DK, and then we'll probably do like a Templar build, Nightblade, something like that. All DPS, and then at some point we'll go down the line and make a healer or two, and a tank. Get over here. Jesus. Come here. No? I can't hit them. Come here. Come here. Get over here. Whoa. I'm flying. Did I hit him? Yeah. Look at that. That's messed up. Alright, this is taking too long for normal. Seem to get him. Oh well. Want to just go ahead and skip him. Shield up. So I think we might just get rid of Carve. Not too sure yet though. I'd rather be able to get more damage out. Well, could spam it. I don't know. I need something for more single target. I feel like. There's that one enemy we still have aggroed. Let's see if we can lose him. Here we go. Okay, now, for more passive single target, there is some dual wield skills we could use. Blood Craze is a good one. I always go with this one instead of the other. Flurry isn't bad, but I haven't used that since I started playing this game. Attack that deal 2,000 with 4 consecutive attacks that each deal 2,000 physical damage. 2, 4, 6, so that's about 8,000 physical damage, and then I think the last strike does even more damage. But we need something a little more that's like more passive. Let's get rid of this. Let's try Blood Crazed. And then we could go with Carve. We really don't need to use anything else right now to... We don't really need the Gap Closer at the moment. But... Nor do we need the extra weapon damage. But for arenas, that's what you'll want to use. I don't know what feels better though, Crystal Weapon or Blood Craze. They both kind of, I think we get more healing, I think, from Crystal Weapon, no matter what. And, so it's like, why get rid of it? And the weapon itself does great damage. So it's really not about it being a heal, it's kind of just a bonus having it. I mean, we could try the fighters, and we can do single target damage with it. That's the important thing. We could put Crystal Weapon on this bar, since this is kind of our survivability bar. We take 10% less damage while over here. So we could put that there, and then try this to keep some of that. It's just not going to be great single target, but that's why we have our Crystal Weapon. Let's see how this feels. We have some options, but I don't know. And it's gonna make our offhand hit hard. We have to remember to always light attack with the two-hander to get the extra weapon damage, which I always tend to kind of forget. Like right there, I forgot of it. See, I don't think we can have a boss. The boss won't trigger the trap, I don't think. So. Bad. See, for some reason, dual wield is clearly doing more damage than weapon damage. Probably, although Fighters Guild skills. Normally two-hander would do more damage. Passively, two-hand does more damage than dual wield. So if I were to put all these fighter guilds onto my two-handed bar, then we could get more out of it that way. But we get more crit damage with dual wield, I believe, which is why, and crit chance, which is why we instead, which crit chance is going to be a little bit more important than that extra weapon damage that two-hander offers. So that's why we try to focus most of our passive damage onto dual wield over two-hander. Though we could get more weapon damage from our two-hander. It's just not as important. Now you don't even have to run two-hander. You could put a shield, you could run a bow if you want. Run basically anything with this build. Now another thing you could do is instead of running Ward, where is it? Hexus Ward, you could run Pillar of Nirn with this set here. That's another fantastic with, and that with the Stormfist, you can just about solo anything with that as well. But I like to, I feel like that set, it just makes everything a bit too easy for us. Which sure, that's what I'm kind of going for, but I like to be able to, you know, do some of the work myself. I don't want my gear doing absolutely everything. I wonder if Crystal, here's something I've been wondering. Does Crystal Weapon, applied with a two-hander, hit multiple targets? Or does it only apply to the primary target that it hits? So at the moment I'm kind of missing Blood Crazed, and I feel like we're going to be wanting it for a boss fight pretty soon. So we're going to go ahead and pop Blood Crazed on there. And we can pop Brawler back on too. It's really preference when it comes to these two skills. These are our flex spots. Whatever I'm playing around with is really all flex. I feel a little bit weaker than I was when I first came in. Oh well. I feel better against the boss though. Hey boss. Like that. I don't know. Pirates. Now we don't have to rely on mobs and other ads to recover. We can just do it ourselves. It's the upside for using Dark Deal over Consuming Trap, though Dark Deal doesn't apply any damage, where Consuming Trap does. So you could even probably use both skills. We could have Consuming Trap and Dark Deal. That could be a good combination. They will both cost us Magicka, but I don't think our Magicka is really hurting too much anyway, so... What would that do anyways? Let's think about it for a second. About more damage with Consuming Trap. Like, we could put Consuming Trap right here instead of Blood Crazed, and that'll give us resource back. And then we have our Dark Deal over here for backup stamina sustain. We could try this, see how it does. But I think I want to swap out where these two skills are. Consuming Trap there, and down armaments right there. We can try this, see how this feels. A lot less work, Oh no! I don't know if we can beat this boss. I forgot all about that. We just have to be real careful, I guess. How long is this gonna last? Hopefully our damage shields will keep us up. Let's get rid of all the ads. Try to. But I need a health pot. Shit, not that. Oh shit. Quick. No, he's getting me again. Fuck. Yeah, I might not be able to solo this. I have one other idea. It's something people used to do in a group. We can pull him over in this corner here. But I don't know if that's gonna work even for solos. This is sad. Let's think of what's gonna help us here the most. Probably crystal weapon, I'd imagine. What is it? Right there. We're gonna need some healing, I think. You know what? Yeah, no, we're gonna keep Dark Deal as well. Come on, I see you. You coming, bitch? No, he's got me. Fuck. Can I just like block everything until this ends? Fuck. We're still healing, so maybe as long as I keep light attack, we'll stay up. We're getting our damage shield, which is definitely saving us. Oh, he got us again. Fuck. We're just gonna have to light attack until he's dead. Watch the AoEs. I don't think we have to worry about the ads too much. We seem to keep healing, so. We have health pots back us up. Oh, our Storm Fist is proccing. Alright, we might be able to beat him. Might. I'm gonna pop health pot just to be safe. Damn, we got us last second. At least we got those two skills up. Those are our most important skills right now to stay alive. And we're just gonna focus on him. We're just gonna keep light attacking. We should probably actually go and fuck them up really quick. They're really starting to pile up. There we go. Now we're good. got us, but look, we got our shield up just in time. He can't even touch us right now. Alright, now. Keep light attacking. We might actually be able to solo it. It's not too bad. I have this. I can't even light attack. I can bash. Let's try bash. Oh, I'm able to weapon swap too, I think. Oh. And it seems like... Oh, what the hell just happened? No, it's frozen. I broke it, oh no! Alright, we're gonna have to force close. Yep.